Welcome back, duelists, to Old Format Yugioh's Edison Format Tournament. Today we have 530, I think it's pronounced Gnocchi, I don't know how he does it, aka Rick, which is what I'll call him down here in the red, versus Helmet in the top, aka Adrian, who was in the first tournament. Let's see what they are on. Adrian is on Vayu Turbo, Machina Gadgets, Frog Monarchs, and Gravekeepers. His Gravekeepers were banned. Versus Rick's Machina Gadgets, Plant Dragons, cool deck. Quick Draw Plants, and Flameville Sworn, with his Quick Draw Plants being banned. Alright, let's get into it. Adrian's going to take first, and we'll pause on the hands. I think Adrian's using, at the time, an old deck that topped, so it's playing this weird card, which was in a couple lists because people just like to copy decks instead of making their own sometimes. So, he is on Caius, Gores, Heavy, Substitute, Nobleman, and Brain Control, and Rick is on Gadgets, which is Peacekeeper, Gadget, Solidarity, Smash and Ground, D-Prison. Both good hands, I would say. Adrian's going right for the Substitute, Swap Frog Treeborn, back to hand. We've seen it all before. We're just going to Gadget, Search Gadget, get in for 13. Drop Gores, pretty early Gores, but it gets out the Smashing Ground, set D-Prison, gets removed. All the D-Prisons get removed, which is really funny. We're going to see a Caius come down, get rid of that Gadget. Of note, Solidarity is still dead, which is good for Adrian. We're going to see from Rick just set Peacekeeper, set Solidarity. Good bluff. Regeki break the back row, poor Solidarity. We're going to see Swap Frog mill some more. Caius gets in, and Swap Frog gets in for some damage. But Gear Frame does get searched, so we're going to see Fortress come down, which is a very annoying card. However, Rick's looking a little low. Gear Frame, we're going to see Fortress summon itself. Simple enough. Adrian does not bounce. I mean, I wish I could rewind replays. Of note, could have used Swap Frog to bounce the Caius, not necessarily itself. I mean, I think he should have bounced something. But it's always a very strong play to bounce Caius, or even Gore sometimes if the Gore stayed. So, always remember that one. Swap Frog doesn't have to bounce itself. Very important. Gear Frame equip, and we're going to see Brain Control, which I think is game, if I'm not mistaken. Boom. Some people call this the most broken card in the format. I can see why. Let's go to game 2. Alright, welcome back. We're going to see Rick go first this time. Let's see what he is on. He is on Plant Dragons. This deck was taken from one that topped early on in Edison, and it's a really cool deck. I like it a lot. Just plays like, standard Plant Engine, Debris, and then actual dragons. It's really cool. And Adrian looks to be on Vayu Turbo. Rick opened Avarice, Dandy, Instant Fusion, Red Eyes, Foolish, Debris. I think that's actually a pretty strong hand, I would say. Meanwhile, Adrian opened Book, Vayu, Heavy, Vayu, Oppression. That is not a strong hand, but Oppression is very good against Plant Dragons. Anything that special summons a lot. So we're going to see Foolish for Lone Fire, Debris, go for the turn 1 Ancient Fairy. You could see this, I think Rick does this a couple times. Rick goes for, like, the sauce every turn 1 if he can. I respect it. I don't agree with it. So, I mean, I think his thought process the last time I talked to him is, for one, he knows his opponent's on Royal Oppression, so that's very important to play around. Even without that, he always goes for these kinds of plays turn 1, because it's just kind of like, in his mind, I think, it's just, why not? Because think of all the scenarios where your opponent puts a big board, and like, whenever your opponent sets up a big board, and you're the opponent, you never have an out. That's just how it works. So I think he's playing to that. It reminds me of like an old player I used to know who would always set 5 back row when he was playing some Helmet deck. I think it was Hunters at the time. And he was just accepted that he lost to Heavy Storm. And if he did, it happened. If it didn't, then he won the game every time. So it's an interesting mentality. I don't know if it's correct, but it is a way to play the game. Adrian is going to go set Vayu, set several back row, I'm assuming. Oh, and Rick gets the dandy tokens that he forgot about. But Adrian's going to end with Oppression, Typhoon, and Book of Moon. Very scary, honestly, from Rick's side, because he doesn't have any, what's the word for it? Negation or destruction. So we'll see how this pans out. We're going to see Black Rose get in. Kills the Vayu, does nothing. Rhoda for Dark Grepher. Dark Grepher is going to pitch his Vayu, send an Elf in the Raven. And now we can get out Armor Master, which is going to basically beat over Black Rose. I think the better play is killing Red MD, because there's nothing in Grave that brings it back or anything. Black Rose is kind of irrelevant. It can make something's attack 0, but it has to be in defense first, so that's kind of irrelevant here. I think killing Red Eyes was better, because, I mean, next turn, like, Red MD could just bring this back, theoretically. Well, let's see what happens. Oh, wait, you know what? I think I do know what this is. Yeah. I forgot. I remember ragging on him now when this happened, but Adrian decided to be big brain, if I'm not mistaken. He wanted Red Eyes to use its effect so he could oppression it and destroy it. So now he gets both for the price of one. Hats off to Adrian. He made the better play. I will give him that one. Rick draws Instant Fusion. He's going to activate Avarice, which is great for him. We'll see if it pays off. See, charge Light Brigade, mill a couple dragons. Oh, this deck's on Reasoning too, which is one of my favorite cards. Alright, he's going to set Raikou and just start getting in. Raikou's going to pop that middle one. Hits an MST, nothing major. Draws another Raikou. That's great. Going to pop more. Looks like Rick is kind of just ignoring the back row at this point. Kind of just hoping. Dust Shoot hits the dragon. Dark Grepher, go for more plays later. It sends the Plague, which is very real, because at this point with Plague, if Adrian gets another card, he could Heavy Storm himself, or I guess 2 more cards. Heavy Storm himself, go Brionac, bounce the Ancient Fairy, and that is game. So it's a bit worrisome. And instead, we're just going to see a Caius, it looks like. Or Grepher first, then Caius. Now activate the Vayu stuff. And I don't know if that's game exactly. I think it's a little off, yeah. Looks like he attacks a lot before Rick does the math. There we go. Set Dandelion and set 2 bluffs. This is not good. Yeah, and I think what he's going to do is probably just go for Stardust here if it resolved. But because now Royal Oppression can't be paid for by Rick. Alright, and Adrian's going to grab food real quick, and we'll also be right back. And for game 3. Let's get into it. Rick's going to go first again. Did Rick switch decks? No, he's on Plant Dragon again. He opens... Oh, perfect. I could ignore that card. He opens Trooper, Debris, Red Eyes, Pot of Avarice, Dandy, and Debris. Solid hand, honestly. I mean, Debris is just really good win condition. Meanwhile, Adrian opens up Fortress, Mirror Force, Yellow Gadget, Giant Trunade, and Level Limit. Level Limit's always a scary one, just doubling the attack of all machines. There's a reason it's at 1. Card Trooper's going to mill 3, hit nothing really. Gadget, attack, easy enough. We're just going to draw, rope the Red MD, and a Prime Material. Pretty good, pretty good. But now we have a play with those. Oh, of note. Looked like you might have gone for a Black Rose there if Adrian had no response with traps, but instead we're just going to see a Torrential, and Rick sadly gets the draw off Card Trooper, though. Alright, moving forward, we're going to see an Instant Fusion, banish Red MD, bring back Debris, and go for... Oh, I see. He didn't want to bring back the Debris, just wanted to go for Wyvern, it seems. Mirror Force, definitely Wyvern's the better play. Since he did not normal summon, actually, I think he did normal summon this turn. Either way, this would not be a legal play. By the way, it gets Smashing Ground. Or, no, okay, we corrected the game state, good. Sometimes we catch replays a little late. I think we see Adrian get in for game right here, which is kind of a disappointing end for this. Yeah, Rick got 3-0'd, and we are done with a really quick one today, so thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good one, duelists.